Okay, so I wanted to give you a little bit of help getting started. I think sometimes it's difficult to get started when I'm not there, so I wanted to just give you a little bit of, a place to start. So I want to look at the first question that I assigned you. It's number 5. It says your teacher is giving you a test worth 100 points containing 40 questions. There are 2-point and 4-point questions on the test. How many of each type of question are on the test? So just like everything we've done with systems of equations, we always want to define our variables first. And we want to use x and y. So here, there are 2 different values. And I can actually find those values from the question. How many of each type of question are on the test? So you say let x equal and let y equal. Now the 2 types of questions are 2-point questions. So this is number of 2-point questions. And then this is number of 4-point questions. So now that we've defined them, now we have 2 equations to write. Now this is one that it's going to give us 2 values. It's going to give us the number of points, and it's going to give us the total number of questions. Let's do the easy one first. There are 40 questions. What kind of questions are there? 2-point and 4-point. So we're going to write x plus y equals 40 questions. Now, if I'm dealing with the value, it can't just add the number of questions up because it's not going to give me the 100 points that I want. So now I'm going to have to give them their values. So if I have x 2-point questions, if I multiply them by 2, it gives me the value of all those questions. Same thing with the 4-point questions. So, here's where I am. I have 2 equations in standard form. The variables are lined up, the equal signs are lined up, the constants are lined up. So this is probably, easiest to solve with elimination. Now, it's easier to change the first equation than it is the second. Remember, I need to create opposites, so I could multiply this first one by -2. That's going to create -2x and 2x. So I get -2x, -2y, -80, and then I have 2x, 4y, and 100. And then I can go ahead and solve that now that I have variables that are going to eliminate. I can quickly find out that 2y equals 20. Y equals 10. And then I can plug that value into this equation over here. X plus 10 equals 40. And again, it was a y, but I solved for y, so I know that y is now 10. And I can quickly figure out that there are 30 2-point questions and 10 4-point questions. All of these, the key to solving all of these and writing the equations is defining the variables first. Now, I want to go to the last page, and you'll notice that on the back I solved the first one so you have an example. Some of them are slightly different, and I want to make sure you get it. So let's skip down to number 4. Number 4 says, a jar of coins contains 6 times as many quarters as dimes. If the total amount of money is $28.80, how many quarters and dimes are in the jar? This is not unlike the last one. I need to first, before I do anything else, I need to define the variables. So we're saying quarters and dimes. Let x equal number of quarters. And y equal number of dimes. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start writing equations. And I'm going to use exactly what it says. A jar of coins contains 6 times as many quarters as dimes. So I know then 6 times the number of quarters as dimes. Now how am I going to write that as an equation? The quarters, it says, are 6 times the amount of dimes. 6 times as many quarters as there are dimes. So how do I write that?